Hello, everyone. On the occasion of International Women's Day, Freedom Talks welcomes you to this very important and deeply meaningful conversation. I am Nibu George, and it is my privilege to serve as your anchor for today's podcast. The Silent Scream, Hamosh Chike. Today, we gather not just to discuss an issue, but to confront a reality that silently affects countless individuals and families. Domestic violence, often hidden behind closed doors, misunderstood as a private matter, or dismissed as a normal couple issue. Domestic violence leaves deep emotional, psychological, and in depth wounds. This podcast aims to move beyond statistics and surface level discussions. We will explore the behavioral patterns, mindsets, family influences, emotional consequences, and societal attitudes that allow abuse to persist. Most importantly, we will focus on awareness, accountability, and prevention because change begins with understanding. With the insights of our esteemed panel members, we hope to shed light on early warning signs, the role of upbringing and self awareness, the impact on children, financial dependency, emotional trauma, and the path towards restoring dignity and self respect. Well, this is not just a discussion, it's a step towards creating safer homes, healthier relationships, and more compassionate society. We have distinguished guests of honor who will throw light on various issues regarding domestic violence through their experience and expertise. This will help shine some light on the dark side of the moon. To throw some light on the dark world of suffering, we have invited the words of wisdom of the panel present through their experience and expertise. If I may welcome Mr. Andrew Shepard. Mr. Andrew Shepard is the founder of Claire Skills, a people and life skills development brand built on the core principles of communication, leadership, accountability, relationship, and empathy. A thought leader, Andrew is an NLP and neuroscience mentor, communication specialist, and behavioral interventionist. According to Mr. Shepard, domestic violence is a lack of control of behavioral and pragmatic wisdom. Welcome aboard, Mr. Shepard. Right. Our second panelist, Mr. Sunil Karkare. Welcome, sir. Thank you. With over 46 years of professional experience, our next panel member, Mr. Sunil Karkare, brings a deeply human and holistic perspective to today's discussion on domestic violence. He has been actively involved in academics, human resources, and counseling. A founder member of the MARD Counseling Center at MSU University of Baroda, he also teaches at the postgraduate level in HR and counseling. As a wellness counselor, he works with parents, adolescents, and corporate employees, and is the founder of the Youth Enlightened for Society YES, nurturing responsible, value driven youth. It's an honor to have you, Mr. Karkare. Advocate Krupa Shah Vyaps. Our next panel member, Advocate Krupa Shah Vyas, is a distinguished advocate and certified POSH prevention of sexual harassment trainer, widely recognized for her work in matrimonial and employment laws. With a strong foundation in legal practices and workplace compliance, she brings a multidimensional perspective to conversations surrounding domestic violence and gender based injustice. She specializes in sensitive matrimonial disputes. Happy to have you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, let's enter the courtrooms with Advocate Kishore Pillai. He's a seasoned legal professional with extensive courtroom experience in both the District Court of Vadodara and the esteemed Gujarat High Court. With a focused specialization in matrimonial and family law matters, he has consistently provided strategic legal counsel to individuals navigating deeply sensitive and often complex family transitions. Through a commitment to fairness, dignity, and due process, he brings valuable legal insight to today's discussion on domestic violence and the pathway to protection and justice. Welcome, sir. So let's start to get educated and aware through the wisdom and experience of the wonderful panel that we have over here. As I start with Mr. Andrew Shepard, a few questions to you, sir. A pleasure. It will be a pleasure getting the answers.
I know you have the toughest questions, so
Tough guys always get the tough ones.
shoot, sir.
What subtle patterns do family often ignore that later escalates into emotional or physical violence?
Yeah, that's a really good one to start with. Uh, मैं इस सवाल का I will break it into different parts, so then we can join the dots as we go through it. So let me start with the story about tiger. Tiger हमारा national animal है, और we all know about the tiger. Tiger lives in the jungle, and its main food is, of course, the deer or the various varieties of deer that are available in the jungle for the tiger. Over a period of time, the tiger gets used to the deer being there, and the deer get used to being predated on by the tiger. It's a kind of an acceptance that happens, and everyone believes that, yeah, if we want to live in this beautiful jungle, we've got to accept the good as well as the bad. Right? So that's how it pans out. Unfortunately, what happens is sometimes the tiger gets a little more ambitious and then decides to try out a human being. And once he tastes the blood of the human being, he then says, wow, this is the best available. Of course, the human being blood has a little salt content as compared to the deer. And so it scares me when somebody says, Sarkar, aapka namak khaya hai.
Scary, that's scary.
It's scary when it comes to that. But so that's if you are getting what I'm trying to convey is that then we start getting normalized to something, and we start giving in to something. The other thing that happens, and there's a lot of people are talking about neuroscience. You mentioned about neuroscience and NLP, that people say that in this brain of ours, there is a prison, there are wires, there is plastic. I don't know. So I'll add one more element to that, which is elastic. As time goes by, which what I would like to term as neuroelasticity it's a word that may or may not be there on the ChatGPT or Google. I don't know. But yeah, neuroelasticity. We start accepting things the way they are. And we believe that these things will, okay, it's a one-off event that has happened. Then, okay, it's happened again. and we just keep on building up our what call the tolerance levels to what is happening, and that's then what is the main problem is that
We should not take things for granted.
yeah, we start normalizing things.
Right.
You know how quickly we normalized during COVID what was happening? Zoom was like everything. Now it is not there. Very few people use Zoom today. So that's it. So we just normalize as quickly as possible, and the predator is very happy with that.
So we need to adjust accordingly. That's what the cage is constant at this
We need to adjust very quickly.
quickly.
Be alert for the signals that come our way.
Sometimes we just can't wait for the next step to come.
We need to also educate people as to what are the signals. What are those signals?
True.
That is a part.
I think that's a big point.
Yeah.
So educate people about what the point is. Like so much. So how does exposure to domestic violence influence a child's behavior, and what impact can it have on their education and future development?
Okay, so I am not a child, I'm a geriatric specimen. So I just refer to my notes about children. So when you say child, it's about, you're looking at up to about 18 years of age, right? So I'd like to just break down the child's age into three sections, teen section, 0 to 5 years, right? Yeah, this is a state where the child cannot speak, cannot understand language, cannot, reason or decipher as to what is happening around him, but just takes in what and just accepts what's happening around him or her as the normal thing.
Okay.
And if there is domestic violence in the family at that time, the child accepts that this is domestic violence. I mean that this is a normal thing, right? So, but the sad part is it that if the mother is the one that is the victim, then he or she, the child, may be deprived of that warmth, comfort, that special heartbeat of the mother, even nutrition. Yeah, right. And if the father is the victim, then a lot of abusive or aggressive uses would be seeing there. 6 to 12 is the very formative years. This is where the child actually starts learning. And you know that's class, when you're 6 years old, you go to class 1. So that's, you can understand from that point also. So that 6 to 12 is very the formative years, what is it, where, but if the child suffers this domestic violence, things like headaches, stomach aches, simple things like this start coming up in the child. Child starts reporting these things. Not wanting to go to school, delaying homework. You know, this is what happens with
So there's a job that's narrative to science at the truth.
right, because as the child also realizes that if I do all the, I get away, or if I report illness, I'm away from the scene, the violent scene that is happening. If I, you know, let's get away as much as possible.
This transparency dies and the child is the victim.
And the last third group is the 13 to 18, and this is the most dangerous one because here the child can go into substance abuse, particularly, can get aggressive himself, can start following if one of the parents are, the perpetrator or the predator or whatever you may call it. So they can start following saying, okay, that's what daddy's doing, that's what mommy is doing. I'm also going to do it also. So it comes from that point of view. So it's a tremendous psychological effect. Yeah, it's a tremendous psychological effect on the child. But the saddest part is that the cognitive development, the IQ development of the child is absolutely damaged.
It's no child reaction.
No, definitely not.
Mr. Sunil Karkare, learn more about sir. With your rich experience of 45 plus years, I would like to shoot a few questions, and your valuable insights will be an honor to us.
Yes, really.
What are the indications that shows relationship may be moving in the wrong direction towards abuse or unhealthy patterns?
यस गुड क्वेश्चन सी कोई भी रिलेशनशिप में जब अंतर आता है तो पहली बात शुरुआत होती है कि इमोशनल नीड सेटिस्फाई नहीं होती है और वो जो 4 इमोशनल नीड है उसको मैं कहता हूँ ऑरा एक्सेप्टेंस, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, रिस्पेक्ट एंड अप्रिसिएशन। जब लगता है मेरा स्वीकार नहीं हो रहा है, मुझे समझा नहीं जाता है, मेरा आदर नहीं होता है और मेरी सराहना नहीं होती है, देन ड्रिफ्ट बिगिंस। एंड वो जो होता है उसके बाद में शुरुआत होती है, इट स्टार्ट विद डिसअपॉइंटमेंट। छोटी छोटी बातों में नाराजगी होती है, देन डिसरिस्पेक्ट, डिसट्रस्ट, सिंपल थिंग मोबाइल चेक करना, disrespect, distrust, and then everything begins with that you don't trust me, you don't accept me, you don't accept me, and then it begins. These are the first things. When there is distancing, undue things, that means there is some problem. Undue questioning, undue care, everything happens undue. This is not required. Why this so much?
So, why do you think that such situations come into existence? Is it because that they're not kind of given time to?
Yes, because we assume it that इसमें क्या बोलना है, ये तो होना ही है।
Take it for granted.
हाँ, सो हम एजम्पशंस पर चलते इससे ये बातों पर ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, एंड देन दैट बिकम्स द इशू ऑफ द टाइम दैट यू नेवर अप्रिशिएटेड मी, यू नेवर अंडरस्टूड मी, एंड दैट मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग इज द बिगिनिंग, एंड व्हेनेवर यू ट्राई टू गिव मोर रैशनलाइजेशन, दैट मीन्स देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम in relationship. There every time there is no need of rationalization. When you start giving unnecessary rationalization, I did not mean that, I did not mean that, that means there is a problem.
So it widens the gap of the relation.
Yes. Yes, and then the question begins, rather than faith, it starts questioning that why this happened, why he came late, why he did so. So the moment it starts rationalizing and why, there is some distancing. And marital relationship, this happens in initial first 3 months because there is no genuine acceptance. Everyone is testing each other. And then that why begins, then it begins with disappointment. As I so tell you, disrespect, disregard, everything begins with that. And then it widens. And that is the first thing. When you feel that my mobile was checked unnecessarily, that means it is a point that there is no trust. Why someone needs to check my mobile?
That's very painful yet touch.
It happens. And commonly, people check mobile when someone is in washroom. They don't verify. That means it is height of this
Quality of.
Yes. So that is the beginning. So that is what वहाँ से शुरुआत होती है.
Thank you, sir. So when we compare traditional and modern marriages, what underlying mindset shape each of them? And do you believe a specific mindset plays a significant role in influencing domestic violence and these relationships?
Yes, yes. Very much बहुत ही इसमें अंतर आया है. ट्रेडिशनल पुराने लोगों के ख्याल देखे तो लोग कहते थे इससे शादी कर लो, शादी कर लेते थे. और अभी तो इससे शादी करना सवाल ही नहीं आता है. मैं ढूंढ के लाऊंगा, मैं ढूंढ के लाऊंगी. सो उसमें when it comes mindset, पहले it was commitment. It was जिस घर में गया हूँ, जिस घर में गई हूँ, I will maintain my home there. Now it is more of contract. If you do this, I will do this.
So conditional.
Yes, it is more of agreement rather than commitment.
Right.
And there is always evidence-based thinking. I gave this gift to you, did not give me this gift. So there is less than commitment, more it is agreement, more it is counting.
Bartering of emotions.
Yes.
That's very hard.
And then emotions are temporary. The moment you get, there is no commitment, there is no perseverance. Everything is immediate.
Okay.
And then therefore, the myndset is that everything immediate. Me right. I am right.
It's just the I be myself.
Yes, me and we. See, the relationship begins with me. And to be happy, it should be we. M should go off. So me to we change doesn't happen. Me. I am earning, you are earning. I am being, so I. There is me. It doesn't become we.
So
And then there is a
perception that
problem.
matters.
Yes. And that is the reason, that mindset that I am earning, so I can do this. You are earning, you can do this. So they stay together in one room. There is no family. There is no we. And that is the problem. The mindset shows that ultimately it happens that if you don't get along, tu tere ghar, main mere ghar. There is no commitment. Let us try to.
Is it a compromise or is it a sacrifice?
Not sacrifice. It is giving up. No efforts.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. The lady in the court. Your voice is Kanun, right? Ma'am, what are the grievances that women come to the court with? Majorly?
जी सो यूजुअली जब स्टार्ट होता है डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस की जब हम बात करते हैं, घर से कोई भी क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट होता है, घर से स्टार्ट होता है, ठीक है। सो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस की जब हम बात करते हैं तो लोगों के दिमाग में यही परसेप्शन है कि वायलेंस वर्ड है तो वहां पे फिजिकल इंजरी होना चाहिए। मुझे टच किया, मेरी इच्छा के बिना टच किया, कैसे टच किया, मुझे चोट लगी, तभी वो वायलेंस है। वायलेंस के भी एविडेंस चाहिए ना, फोटोग्राफ्स चाहिए, ठीक है। पर ये जरूरी नहीं है कि वायलेंस हमेशा फिजिकल हो, ठीक है। वायलेंस फिजिकल हो सकता है। जब कभी भी वायलेंस स्टार्ट होता है ना, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस स्टार्ट होता है इमोशनल वायलेंस से। काफी केसेस में ये स्टार्ट होता है कि जब हस्बैंड इज द सोल अर्नर, वो वाइफ को रिक्वायर्ड मनी नहीं देता, फाइनेंशियल अब्यूज।
It's just dominating.
Yes. So if I am the breadwinner,
I should.
I am the king of the house. So you should do जो मैं बोलता हूँ, आपको वैसे ही आपको ये करना है, या वैसे ही लाइफस्टाइल में आपको खुद को ढालना है, which is not always possible because wife is also an individual. उसकी भी खुद की इंडिविजुअलिटी, उसकी चॉइसेस है, उसको रिस्पेक्ट नहीं किया जाता। वहां से इमोशनल अब्यूज स्टार्ट होता है, फाइनेंशियल अब्यूज स्टार्ट होता है। कोर्ट्स आर वेरी गुड, द लॉ इज वेरी गुड। लॉ में बहुत स्पेसिफिकली बोला गया है इमोशनल अब्यूज इंक्लूडेड इन डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस, फिजिकल अब्यूज, सेक्सुअल अब्यूज। काफी बार ये बहुत ही टैबू कंसिडर किया जाता है। व्हेनेवर वी टॉक अबाउट सेक्स, इट इज कंसिडर्ड अ टैबू। बट हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ के बीच में जो भी हो रहा है, एनी सेक्सुअल रिलेशन इज हेल्दी, दैट इज नॉट द केस। सो जब ये अनहेल्दी हो रहा है, जब दिस इज हैपनिंग विदाउट द कंसेंट, उसको भी क्रूअल्टी कंसिडर किया गया है।
So, ma'am, what about the marital sex if it's forced? Is there any law that abide by with it to seek justice?
Very interesting question. There is an ongoing debate कि मैरिटल रेप को हमें पीनल प्रोविजन में कंसिडर करना चाहिए, उसके लिए कुछ सजा होनी चाहिए या नहीं होनी चाहिए। सो मैरिटल रेप इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रूव। मेरे हस्बैंड के साथ में झगड़ा हो गया और मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं बचा उसको लड़ने के लिए, आई विल यूज दिस बिकॉज दिस इज जस्ट बिटवीन मी एंड माई हस्बैंड, देयर इज नो एविडेंस टू इट। एंड कोर्ट्स इमोशंस नहीं देखती है, कोर्ट्स एविडेंस देखती है। सो इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रूव। और जब हम इसको एक अलग पीनल लॉ बना देंगे, इसके लिए सजा करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे, उसका मिसयूज सर बढ़ने के चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा है। पूरा जो हमारा इंडिया में जो मैरिज की पूरी जो व्यवस्था है, वो व्यवस्था पूरा डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा।
Should we just let go of this injustice happening, or is there any way they can move out?
Marital rape is also considered cruelty.
Right.
So females have
Any punishment that comes with that?
See, cruelty उसको consider करके cruelty is a ground for divorce. Under Domestic Violence Act, you can claim compensation for the same. So ये हो सकता है, but as such, if you want in other rape cases, there is punishment of imprisonment. That is not yet there under our laws.
And where do you, sir, have put in the maximum efforts in a court proceeding?
See, I really don't know what you mean by that, but when it comes to the court proceeding as such, I suppose you meant the procedure. Court proceeding, you put in your maximum efforts when you causes, and there is a only place, especially because the domestic violence happens within the four walls of the house. You don't have any witness as to what is happening. So the most effective way of bringing out the truth is making the other side stand in a witness box under oath and cross-examining him or her. There it comes up on the opponent itself. Okay, and then comes the argument. But as we feel, that the entire process is a punishment. Most of the cases, the lady, the affected wife, comes to the court for a maintenance order. The maintenance order is actually emulgated for the purpose of avoiding, preventing destitution and starvation. By the time she comes to the fag end of the trial, she's almost on the verge of starvation. Tariq par tariq. The court, due to many reasons, either due to the absence of the judge, either of the advocates or the litigants, or for some other reasons, the trial is so much delayed that to get the order delivered at the right time is itself a task. And after undergoing all these hardships, when you finally get an order, I'm talking again about this domestic violence, maintenance and other matters. When you finally get an order, implementing that is the biggest challenge. इस ऑर्डर को इतना रुपया वाइफ को देना है, वो ऑर्डर पढ़े लिखे लोग अंडर लीगल एडवाइस भी जब कोर्ट का हुक्म होता है उनका पालन करना, तो भी कानून से भागकर अपने वाइफ को पैसा से वंचित देकर
Isn't it a mental harassment for the work she's here? Very heavy work.
half of it. I can give you a classic. And you just give me some example. I can give you a classic example. I'm sure my viewers will take it as exaggeration, but this happened with me, and it is still continuing to happen with that lady. And we are trying our best to put this in order. A wife whose husband is a general manager with a public sector undertaking, earning 5 lakh rupees a month. We did not have money to pay for the rickshaw charges to travel from our house to the court, to attend the court procedure. No exaggeration. So she is driven due to the lackluster system, paring per tarik, and due to other reasons which I would not like to discuss on camera. She is almost on the verge of starvation, and just when it was about to break, the court delivered the order. A very magnificent order in her favor, but then to get the money from the husband, the fight is still going on, and the Honorable High Court has seized of the matter, and now it started paying off. So that is a process.
That's once again. So how we think there's the awareness that arises between educated and less educated communities?
Both of us, all of them are the same boat. It is easier for an advocate to educate a lesser for an advocate to educate a lesser educated person rather than an educated person.
It's repetitive.
Yeah, it's very good. Most of the educated persons, they go to his artificial intelligence sites. They do their due diligence, that they call. They come to us armed with lot of information, more questions that armed with lot of nightmares, armed with lot of fake stories, and they expect you to address the things based on what they have undergone, based on imaginations. So the first thing that you have to do is to make them unlearn. उन्होंने जो सीख के है उनको माइंड में से निकाल के नया बुद्धि, नया इंफॉर्मेशन उनका मगज में डालना, ये सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है.
So AI always doesn't do justice.
It by and large it does justice. I'm not telling it is always wrong. It's like cases, but then it's evolved on this. So if you rely fully on that, they don't teach you the process. They give you basic information how to use it. It is always misused. So
Let's get back to our good old Shapur. Sir, well, no, this is financial dependency. And how does the financial dependency make it more difficult for individuals to make decisions when facing domestic violence?
Yep. The financial dependencies. Money is required. It is needed. So this gave us the example where the lady is having difficulty in getting to the court and facilitating the court process to happen. Though we, as per government rules, are supposed to offer a shelter home to victims, but I don't know whether that really happens everywhere or not. A protection officer, shelter homes, all this is mentioned. Probably if the perpetrator is been the only earning member of the house that bought away, or if it's not that person and somebody else who's doing it. Well, what I mean, it's a big thing. Sometimes I refer to a theory that we learned in MBA, which is called the Maslow's theory of hierarchy. So the first level is about the physiological needs. When these have been taken away because of the domestic violence incidents that are happening, whether it is actual physical or emotional or any way that is being unsuitably disturbed. And the next step, which is talking about security, financial security, stability, that will not happen. Okay. And how do I move from one to the other? And so money is everything, it's needed, but if it's not there.
So how do we solve this dilemma?
How do we solve this dilemma? Well, the only way I would suggest is for everyone, whether you're a homemaker or